It's Thursday, the 9th of April, and I am back down here in the woodland lot. I am trying to get this done. I didn't get down here yesterday at all, but I did go to the doctor, and I did get checked out for Lyme. And I've got some tests I'm still awaiting. First test came back negative, but I think it's wrong. Even the doctor thought I had Lyme. So just from descriptions and cases and stuff, so I got to get that looked into. Anyway, I'm on some antibiotics. Should be feeling better soon. Maybe if I could just get my energy back, I could do some work. So anyway, I didn't get down here at all yesterday. And I really have to get this finished. I've got other stuff pressing to do. And I'm running out of time because right now granted, it's been a little cold. Last night was below freezing. The night before was below freezing. But here on out, I don't think there's a single night. I don't think there's a single night below freezing. And in fact, by the end of next week, we're going to be in the 40s, upper 40s overnight. And we could see some temps in the 60s and 70s. That's going to cause the trees to leaf out and start shading this. So I need to get wrapped up with all that I'm doing. Not an easy task. And I need to oversow this so that those peas and oats and grasses can germinate and rapidly grow. Well, we still have pretty much full sunlight here. Once they're established, then I don't care if the canopy closes in. That's when I want the shade, because that's when the cows will be down, send the cows down here in the shade. Now, you're going to question what I'm about to do, because I'm going to cut down all those alders down there and stump out that whole area. My contention is, now granted, it's at the bottom of a hell of a slope all the way down. There's probably there's probably 100 foot. No, let's see if I project straight out. 50 foot drop. Well, between 50 and 100 foot drop down this slope. And wait a minute, I should be able to tell you in a minute. Hang on. So all the way, and with all these stones here, the water just runs down there. But my contention is the type of soil here is a well-drained soil, and that the area stays the wettest is because not only is it at the bottom of the slope, but the alders keep the soil wet there. When they're fully leafed out, it's very dense in there. There is no air movement. There is no sunshine getting to the soil, and if it's wet, it just stays wet. So my hope is that, what did I do with that chainsaw? My hope is that when I get that cleared and opened up and actually get some grass growing there, the grass will love that wet area, grow fast, grow easily, and it'll dry out because the wind and the sun will be able to get there. And that will be a vastly more productive piece of ground than having those stagnant swamp alders there. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to cut those back. I have to get a load of chip done today because the barn needs it, because I've run out up there. So there's chipping to do. I'm not exactly sure where or how, but I want to start by cutting those alders back. And I don't know if I'm going to run the excavator today or not. It's just a matter of what I can get done in the time I got to do. It's going on noon, and I have about 2 hours that I can give this project down here. And that is the other problem. I'm not getting the amount of time that I'd love to spend down here. I'd bring my lunch and work 8 hours down here if I could, but that isn't going to happen. So down here, we're just going to clear out all this brushy stuff. And I'll come through with the excavator, scrape up the stumps, pile them off, And I think I can start to think about fence lines next. Although I do have all these limbs and dead things down here have to be pulled out and stacked somewhere. So again, that's also getting in here and getting stuff so I can get the excavator in here and access. Okay, I'm down at the bottom of the slope and using the iPhone GPS compass thingy. We're at 70 feet above sea level right where I'm standing. And up at the top of this pasture by the stone wall, it's 130 plus feet above sea level. So we are every bit of 60 feet elevation change on this slope. And you can see how wet the ground is here in places. And there's enough shade from these big trees that are still alive. So if I can clear this out and let the sun in here and get some grass growing, this should soak up nicely. At least that's my theory. I still might need a drainage ditch at the top of the hill to cut the channel off to one side, but at least for this year, we're going to give this a shot. It's about a half acre I need to clear, and a half acre of grass is actually, over the course of the summer, is more like having 3 acres of grass, given the amount of grazing you can get off of it. So making this 2 acres as productive as possible this summer is going to be a key strategy, especially if we keep having droughts, and especially if the temperature's going to increase. And then my next improvement step is over in that direction. There's a place with some pockets of meadow in the forest that I can link up with tree alleyways so the cows can go out there. That's a bit more of a challenge because I just haven't been in there, and I'm not going to run. Before I would have run pigs in there and cleared things. I'm not going to do that anymore. So to get to there, I'm going to have to improve this roadway to get equipment back around. That'll need fenced, it'll need improved. There's some trees, like timber trees, that have to come out of there. But I want to do that in a different form than I've done all the rest of the silvopastures. And I also want to leave it more shelter belt, so for protection for wind, like the barn in the trees kind of concept, where cows can go in there, shelter from the wind, shelter from the rain, and have some areas that are a bit denser that maybe aren't grazed, but then linking up the meadows. I'm calling them meadows. They're probably acre patches of grass with very few trees. So that's the future. That's if summers continue to be droughty, if they continue to have these huge heat spikes, if they continue to get worse, if the forest continues to live. I mean, we're doing a lot of assumptions in a new normal that isn't even normal, that is constantly changing. So strategies to keep heat stress off of cattle, to keep them productive through the summer, to keep them fed in drought years is really is going to be our main challenge, I think. So anyway, let's get this cleaned up. Well, that's it for me from the forest. Still actually have a couple hours I could work down here, but I am beat between the uneven ground conditions and the mud and lugging stuff uphill. I gotta say, I'm kind of thrashed. I was hoping to gather another pile. Well, the tractors, I just shut it down. I got most of a full bucket, enough to bed today and tomorrow. I won't be able to get down here at all tomorrow. I've got an appointment in the morning and a SmaxTex webinar this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, and then regular stuff. And I still haven't painted Allison's cream separator. That's got to happen. Maybe it's a little too breezy today. It's perfect temperature, but it's a little too breezy. Yeah, I cut down a lot of stuff that I didn't even bring up to chip. I found enough right here where I could bring the tractor and set it up. Now, the trouble is, it was a challenge getting the skid steer in here. We'll see what happens getting it out. So there's that. I did not get as much chipping. I was hoping to fill up the bucket and still have another pile to chip later on. But I got 90% of a bucket, 80% of a bucket, and I've got a lot of stuff that I can haul and stack to chip. I may decide to move the chipper in further. Now, Thursday today, like I said, Friday shot. This weekend, we're talking about trying to put Tethys and Ganymede out in the front with the other heifers, and that basically eats up the entire day because we'll be watching them, making sure they don't escape, checking on fences, making sure the other heifers don't escape, and if they do escape, it'll be a shit show. And we also want to have a day off. Now, we talked about doing that on Sunday, provided the heifers settled on Saturday, and I got some of the, once the heifers are out of their container yard, Tethys and Ganymede, then I can clear the yard out of all the hay and manure and clean it, and then the babies, the little calves, can go out in the yard, and I can clean their pen more thoroughly than I have been. Cows will need chips and bedding over the weekend, so I may have to try and find time to chip on the weekend. Here's the problem. Sunday, there's a community event where they've asked for my chipper to be there. Now, I'm not anywhere near done with it here, and pulling it out of the forest and bringing it back into the forest, well, it's not really a big deal. It's going to take up 45 minutes, whereas 45 minutes, I guess, just leave it sit here and be chipping. But I do feel like I should go help this community garden project and run the chipper, but that's the middle of the day on Sunday. So if we were going to try and take Sunday off, that means Allison, and be together. I mean, that's the other point, is not just to have a day off. It's to be together and to do something that's not farming. That's not our day-to-day slog. Something fun. We were going to go out and one of our favorite clam places is going to open up on the weekend, and we thought we'd check them out. And then we also need to go shopping. So, yeah, maybe we do that stuff, kind of weave it into Saturday, and then put the the heifers out on Sunday. And I could go chip. Alice could watch calves. I don't know. So there's all that to consider. Plus, our own stuff, having chips for the cows. So, and I'm not, that's what. Now I'm talking about Friday, Saturday, and Sunday where I'm not working down here. That is not cool. I need to get this done. But like I said, there's another hour and a half I could be doing something down here, but I'm beat. So I'm going to go get a drink and check out the status of what's going on in the barnyard. And I do also have to have lunch. So, and then get set up for milking, bed the cows, start the whole thing over again. It's Saturday, the 11th of April. Absolute cracking day. It's in the afternoon. Well above 50 today, and it was above freezing last night. Grass is greening in the field ever so slightly. Flowers are blooming flowers. And we moved Tethys and Ganymede in with the other heifers this morning. It was finally time. We've got 2 new calves coming this week, and space in the hut and the container was tight. Need to get in there and clean them out better. Tethys and Ganymede needed to come out here. So we did that after milking. Alice and Charlotte watched them while I went and got chipped for the barn. So I got to go bed the cows next, but just before milking. Tethys and Ganymede there. Oh, nice. Ganymede's peeing. And everybody's mellow, everybody's chill. We're going to leave the halters on Tethys and Ganymede for a couple of days. Just in case they break out, we'll be able to catch them that easier. They can't run, and more importantly, while they're in here, they can't run and get speed enough to jump over the fence. I don't think they're going anywhere. They were pretty tame and sweet to begin with. Hi, Gan. How you doing, darlings? Garbage blowing around. Yeah, this is great. This is a great outcome. So, like I said, the rope halters will stay on for a couple days just so they can't run and they get tripped up on them. And they won't have, if they get shocked by the fence a few times, they have been already. And they seem to be respecting it. It's been a blustery old day today. I tried working in the forest, but that wasn't going to happen. Too much stuff falling from the sky. And, starting to get the gardens in a little better shape on a day like today. But yeah, I was chipping. I'm going to take I brought the tractor up to fuel it, but I'm going to service it in the morning and then take it to the community garden and do some chipping for them down there for an hour tomorrow. I would have liked to have given a wash to the tractor before I take it out on the road, but I don't want to waste the water. Throw this cup away where it won't blow away and go get ready for milking. I'm looking down in the forest, and that little patch of green is giving me hope. It's a lot more green than what's out in the field. Out Sunday morning, out walking the dogs, and happy to see that the heifers are all settled in. Tethys is in the trailer, and they haven't chased Ganymede away. In fact, last night they were all snuggled up together. Good girls. So, yeah, happy to have the heifers out of the container yard, in with the other heifers. Be easier to manage, easier to feed them. We can now get the little kids out, clean that pen the next couple days, get the little kids out, clean their pen, and get ready for 2 more calves. It is 6 o'clock on Monday, the 12th of April, I think. It is Baltic out. Pouring rain, bitter cold, windy. I'm down here checking the cows first thing. I check the Smacks Tech data every day before when I get up. See if everybody's okay. It poured rain here last night. The barn's wet again. The cows ate all their bale. I gotta get them a new bale. Just checking on everybody. They haven't moved since 3 in the morning. That was the last time I had a Smacks Tech update. And there was an alert at 3:40, a high activity, but it didn't ping my phone for some reason. So it was with Joy, who could be calving. That was alarm. That's why I came racing down here while coffee's brewing, check on Joy. But yeah, it must have poured rain last night, because again, that patch between the spot between the parlor and the barn is absolutely swampy. I only thought, we almost moved Joy and Astrid into the holding units, and I started cleaning out the container yard to put them there because the cows were harassing them, and they're gonna calve this week. But I'm glad I didn't, because there's no shelter, and it's just vile this morning. All right, well, everybody's good down there. They can wait a few minutes till I can get them a bail. And I'll go have some coffee. Go for it. Just down here checking the cows. I need to get them some more silage. And I'm looking specifically at Joy, whose side is writhing like she's got an alien inside, and she does. She's got to give birth really soon. She's due on Thursday. Smacks Tech is saying, hey, there's a lot of things going on in that little cow, heifer rather, so let's pay attention to her. So that's why I just came down. She's starting to show the signs of pre-calving, moving into that calving window. So she may calve early. So I'm also down here assessing what I need to do, how I can draft her into the handling unit, because I'm obviously, today I'm not going to have the container pen ready. I'm going to go work on that next. But I want to maybe put a tarp on this for a shelter from the rain, although it may rain a little tonight, but not much. I think we're done. It's warming up. The sun's threatening to come out, and tomorrow's supposed to be a really nice day and warm. So I'm not sure whether it's worth putting a fly tarp over this just for some protection from the rain, because it is also quite gusty today. I might have a problem with that, but I am going to clean that out, refresh the water barrel right now, and make it so that if Smacks Tech does flag her is going to calve in the next 24 hours, then I'll put her in there. I'm also thinking maybe even if it looks closer but it hasn't flagged it, I may move her in there just to give her a break. There's a lot of argy-bargy going on in the pen right now because of the hormones, because she's going to calve, because Astrid's ready to calve right behind her. It's honestly at this point still, I think Joy's going to calve first, but it's still anybody's guess. Astrid is also looking really ready to pop. She's not technically due till the beginning of next week, or maybe over the weekend, I forget. So, throw some silage at these girls and get that pen cleaned out, and then move up and work on the container pen. Oh, we got a shipping container delivered. Shipping container? No, we got a dumpster delivered today. Great big roll-off. So we can clean up, get rid of the silage wrap, get rid of all the stuff that we've thrown in piles over the winter, but also piles of stuff that we've just accumulated to say, yeah, we'll get someone in here to haul it to the dump. We just decided it was actually cheaper to get the dumpster than to pay someone to come and pick the garbage and all that stuff. So we're gonna have a volunteer day this weekend, and hopefully people will help us in lieu of a free lunch to help throw this. But I'm also going to work on some of the worst stuff this week, so it's not as bad as it seems. I mean, I know, it's a mess. winter was hard. Whatever. All right, let's get these. I am cleaning up the bale wrap from a bale I just dropped off. It's mostly hay. I've just dropped it off in the clean container pen. I just spread lime everywhere. I saved you the footage of the arduous task of mucking out the pen. It was quite gross. It was layered up. Been that way since November. And we now have a place I can get the babies out of their container pens and into the unit so I can clean the pens out thoroughly, lime and sanitize those. I'll get the huts out. Then either the calves can be in here, or right now it's set up so I can put either Joy or Astrid in there to birth if we need it. Otherwise we'll do it in the handling unit. So I spent a few hours of today, Monday. Now my next stop is the tool factory for shavings.
Okay, here goes nothing. I mean, I guess the clean not more efficient.
Yeah, absolutely.